Hey everybody, it's Stefan for Stefan's Kitchen. Welcome back for another recipe. Ooh, I'm doing them sooner. It's about time. Also, don't forget, go over to Instagram, go follow me, OWGamer. You can go and tell me, hey, that food you made looks good. Go make it on your channel. Give me the recipe. I want to make those foods, and we can be friends. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. This week, I'm giving you guys a recipe for, something that I only got to have a few times, made traditionally by people from Louisiana. When I was in Nova Scotia, I had several roommates when I was there for French immersion and stuff, and they introduced me to a lot of cool foods. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make this as traditionally as I wanted, and I'm doing it New Orleans style, which is apparently adding tomatoes. So please, if someone, I know that tomatoes is not traditional, so please don't kill me, traditionalists down in Louisiana. I also do not have okra, and I do not have Tony Chachere's, which is a very sad day. But anyways, today we are going to make gumbo. Alright, so this is, like I said, a traditional recipe found in Louisiana. It uses a lot of different things. It uses a lot of time, more or less, in order to get exactly how it's supposed to be cooked. You're supposed to be using a dark roux. You're supposed to be, you fry out your vegetables, but you do it slow so that you can, retain maximum flavor and stuff. There's a lot of intricate details when it comes to gumbo. So, like I said, I do not and cannot get okra here in Newfoundland. I looked a couple of times. I haven't looked recently, but yeah, okra is impossible to come by here. I'd have to order it online. And I'm not doing it traditional. I'm using tomatoes, the apparent New Orleans style. So, first, we're going to start out by making our roux. Ooh, butter. All right, let's get a big scoop of butter. Now, traditionally, roux is usually half and half in weight in order to make a proper roux. So, a lot of this is just going to be going by what you're seeing in the video, because I usually make a huge pot of gumbo when I make it, because I like to freeze it, I like to eat it when Robin's not home, when we're not going to have a big meal or something, then I can just take out some gumbo and have it. It means just make rice, good to go. So first of all, the roux, one of the most important things in the gumbo. Traditionally, you make a dark roux, which means you stir it often, you cook it longer, and it becomes a very, right now, this is an okay time to add in your flour once your butter gets melted. But yeah, you use equal parts. So if you use a pound of butter, you use a pound of flour. Put it that way. You use half a pound, you use a half a pound. It's 1-to-1 ratio when you're making a roux. You have to stir often, you have to stir frequently and quickly, because you don't want it to burn. And you don't want it to get all, you don't want to have little balls of almost like dough in your roux, because you didn't stir the flour around enough. So you have to be careful with that. Like I said, it's a very intricate recipe. It requires a lot of time and finesse and tending to. And as you can see how quickly it starts to bubble up immediately afterwards. You don't want it to burn. Anyways, over here we're going to put on our oil in our pan. Basically, this is going to be the time that we're going to add in. I've already chopped up, I think it was 3 red bell peppers, 2 large onions, and 3 stalks of celery into this massive amount of vegetables, I guess. This is what they call the Holy Trinity. Usually it's mirepoix, carrots, onions, and celery. But they remove the carrots and add in bell pepper as the Holy Trinity to Louisiana cooking. Alright, now I'm going to add in a little bit of garlic. This is going to help add in a little bit of extra flavor, because, gotta have a bit of garlic. I like that extra little bit of a hit from the garlic flavor as well. So again, remember to season your vegetables, because you don't want them going in bland. You want to maximize their flavor. This will help along with that, obviously. And yeah, again, I really wish I could make traditional Louisiana gumbo, but like I said, we do not get okra around here. It's not something that you see at grocery stores ever, really, in Newfoundland. I think I might have seen it once frozen, but then it was gone after a couple of months because, well, one, I don't know, I don't really want to use frozen vegetables that often if I don't have to, especially ones that I'm not used to, because okra is it can be used as a thickening agent. It has more or less like its own gelatin, and that's what thickens up your stock and stuff. But the French way of doing it is to use a roux, and you want to keep that roux cooking and stirring until it gets to a very like brown, more or less. You want it to almost have like a nutty look to it. It's you'll see it's delicious. All right, I'm adding in a little bit of Cajun spice because I don't have Tony Chachere's. I'm also using some chipotle tabasco as well because traditionally I find Tabasco is a little bit overrated and I don't know, it kind of kills the taste of things. The chipotle flavor is kind of nice because it's smoky and it kind of mixes in with this stuff really well. And yeah, again, we're mostly just sweating out these vegetables, just trying to, get them to release their juices so we can mix them in with our stock and everything. Because it's all going to go in here in a second. We're going to put some stock into our roux, again, as soon as it gets dark enough. You see what it's like right now? It's still not dark enough. It's still not dark. This is what it looks like when it's dark enough. Alright, so, like I said, it's very brown, and that's the way you want it. That's going to give you the maximum amount of flavor. And once you get it to here, this is when you're going to want to start adding in your stock. So, I'm going to be using chicken stock. Again, if it wasn't so time consuming, and if I had a real kitchen that wasn't so tiny, again, we're using a kitchen in her grandmother's house, because we live in her grandmother's house, and the kitchen there was made for her. She was not a very tall lady, and they didn't have a huge kitchen there to begin with, so we're pressed for counter space a lot of times, and yeah, I mean, we don't even have a dishwasher in our house. That's how that works, all right? That's how old our home is. We can't put a dishwasher in there. So, but yeah, that's neither here nor there. Just getting in some, hey guys, how's it going? Anyways, we're going to keep adding in our stock. I use about 3 or 4 1-liter boxes of stock. And again, with any kind of soup or stew, you can keep adding in a little bit of water. Again, just adjust your seasoning and make sure you don't deter from the flavor of what you want for your soup or stew. Or in this case, gumbo. Anyways, once we get it to a mild simmer, we will start adding our, we got some chorizo sausage. And I'm mixing it in with our veggies, just because I don't want the sausage to really cook either. Like, I don't want it to brown or anything. I just want it to kind of like, again, same as the vegetables. I just kind of want to make them sweat. And I know that sounds weird, but it's true. That's all I want them to do. Alright, we're going to continue to stir this around. Again, we don't want anything to really brown too much or anything. We just want it to sweat. And remember to keep stirring your stock and roux combo until it gets fully mixed in together. Now, right now, you don't have to worry about it as much because once the stock goes in, it won't burn on as quickly. But you still have to worry about little, I guess, traces of roux that could be stuck to the bottom of the pot. That's why I use a whisk. It's just so much better. Anyways, alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take those veggies and the sausage, and as you can see, none of it's really browned. It's all kind of red because of taking on the color of the bell peppers. Those red bell peppers are pretty vibrant. So we're just going to add it all in. And right now we just have roux, stock, veggies, and sausage. And I put the sausage in early because I like for it to, again, release its flavor, become part of the stock itself. And, well, I mean, eventually we're going to let this boil for about 4 hours. And when I say boil, I mean it's going to be on a simmer and covered, more or less. So it's just going to slow boil the entire time. But that's kind of what you want because, again, you're getting all those flavors together. Any good super stew, as you know, the longer you cook it, the more flavor goes into it, and fantastic. Anyways, there you go. So once your sausage and all your veggies have been added in, it's time to get some other stuff in regards to flavoring and getting some things ready. First, we're going to get some bay leaves. I'm going to put a few of those in there, maybe 4 or 5, because we are making a fairly large pot of gumbo. And yeah, those will. I also put in a little bit of sugar, but the bay leaves will put in a nice, like, earthy flavor to the gumbo itself. Sugar helps, of course, sweeten it, and thyme is another earthy flavor. So we're gonna just get our whisk stirred up real good, real quick, and right now those fumes are so good. They smell so delicious. And now, as I said before, we're gonna get some other stuff ready. We're gonna put a little bit of vegetable oil in the wok over here. Well, I call it wok, but it's really just a bowl pan more than anything else. But yeah, now we're going to add in our chicken breast. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. We're going to fry this out. This we're going to give a little bit of color to. And we also want it to be fully cooked anyways. But yeah, we're going to use our little bit of Cajun seasoning. I use the, was it Clubhouse? Columbia Hat? No. Clubhouse seasoning. A little bit of the chipotle tabasco sauce. And of course salt and pepper. And garlic. Yummy, yummy garlic. That was about a tablespoon or so. And again, let it fry out. Let it get a little bit of color. Make sure it gets fully cooked. And once it's good to go, add in a can of crushed tomatoes. Or actually diced. Don't get crushed. Get diced. And make sure it's small diced. Don't get screwed over by those ones that are like, oh yeah, these are crushed tomatoes. And you open the can and say, no, they're not. Those are whole tomatoes. This is the worst. Then you have to reach in and pull them out. Oh, as you can tell, I've done that for this recipe before. Yes, thinking like, oh, this is a can of diced tomato, only to find out, like, I didn't read the label, and it was whole tomatoes, and then I had to reach in and start taking out tomato. It was bullshit. I didn't like it. Anyways, sorry. Once everything's cooked up, and once it comes back to a boil again, you can take it off the heat and throw it directly into your pot for your gumbo. Your tomatoes and chicken have been added. And again, tomatoes apparently are not traditional. It's something that they do in New Orleans, apparently, more than anywhere else. And if I'm butchering the name of your city, I apologize. And as you can see, I'm adding in shrimp. Gumbo is traditionally made with either sausage or ham and shellfish. I prefer to use sausage, chicken, and shrimp because that's kind of the favorite one that I tried when I was in Nova Scotia with a lot of the people from Louisiana. My roommate was from Lafayette. Anyways, here you go. Basically, serve it over rice. Again, traditionally, there's a lot more gumbo than there is rice. Me, I'm a huge fan of rice, and I just love it. It's so good. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed. Believe me, it may not be traditional gumbo, but it is fantastic once it's finished. And again, I boiled this for about 4 hours once I got the chicken and the tomatoes in. About half an hour before you're going to turn it off, add in your shrimp, start your rice, and then by the time your rice is done, your gumbo will be done. Which means then you go and serve it, you eat it, you enjoy it, you love it. And that's all there is to it. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed. See you later.